Hello, good evening. Welcome to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Selom Adunu. What the Papers Are Saying is your midweek news and current affairs analysis program. Every day, newspapers churn out stories captured in headlines. On this program, we try to break it down and analyze them for you. The show, as always, is live and interactive. You can join us via our WhatsApp line 020-444-7033, and that has been displayed on your screens, and we'll be happy to share your views with the rest of the world. Three key issues have come up this week, and first one, inflation drops to 3.8% from 5.4%. It's the lowest in about 30 years. What does this mean for you and I, and what exactly are the managers of the economy doing right? Also, Dr. Bawumia becomes the MPP flag bearer. What's next for him? And what's next for his party, and even what's next for the NDC or government. The Kotoka International Airport, we understand, is to be renamed. Is this a necessary venture, or you think, as many have said, it's important to correct history? We'll be happy to hear what you think. The text lines are displayed on your screen. I'll take a short break. I'll return, tell you what the papers are saying, introduce my guest, and then we'll begin the discussion. You're welcome back. This is what the papers are saying. A number of headlines we have seen this week. We are bringing you three of the most topical. Inflation drops to 3.8%, according to the Ghana Statistical Service. The Business and Financial Times captures it like this. Inflation falls to 3.8% as price pressures ease for 13th straight month. 3news.com, 3.8% inflation. NDC has the best economic record under the Fourth Republic, says Kwachi Ofosu. MyJoyOnline.com, upon Nkrumah questions January inflation data, says figures don't reflect market realities. CityNewsroom.com, Vanderpoy, 3.8% inflation reflects stable economy. Figures not cooked. Now we move to the MPP. Dr. Bawumia becomes MPP flag bearer. What next? The News Center. Bawumia survives the storm. Delegates reject narrative faulting him alone for 2024 loss. The New Publisher, Bawumia Season 2, wins MPP 2028 flag bearership with decisive victory. The Informer newspaper, it is finished. Bawumia leads MPP again, calls for unity, cooperation, as delegates defy prophecy. The Herald, Afenyo marking, others in danger after Bawumia's victory. And finally on this, CityNewsroom.com, NDC will beat Bawumia anytime, any day, says Ayariga. We will test that assertion with Musa Dankwa. Kotoka International Airport to be renamed. The Chronicle newspaper, Kotoka Airport to be renamed. Daily Graphic, government to rename Kotoka International Airport. The New Publisher, Kotoka name on airport to go off. And finally, Channel 1 newsonline.com. KIA renaming must be justified, says the Dankwa Institute. Well, so these are the headlines. This is what the papers are saying. We will delve into them shortly. We'll take a short break. We'll return with more. Don't go away.
I need someone to call my own.
This February, the month of love, Brunch in the City brings you Love in the City, a warm celebration of romance, connection, and heartfelt moments. From sweet confessions to unforgettable surprises, Love in the City creates space for love to be felt, shared, and celebrated. Love is in the air, and this Valentine's season, hearts are taking center stage. But the big question remains, is your boo truly your boo? Well, join us from 2nd February to 13th February on Brunch in the City and let love lead the conversation. Love in the City. Let's put love to the test. Only on 97.3 City FM.
Love in the City 2026 is powered by City FM with support from Channel 1 TV, and it's proudly sponsored by Africa World Airlines.
Africa World Airlines. Touching Africa, touching world.
You're welcome back. This is what the papers are saying. We just went through what the headlines for this week, the topical headlines for this week were. I introduced my guest, Musa Dankwa. He's a poster, the man of the moment, executive director of the Global Info Analytics. Musa, you're welcome. We should actually have flowers here for you.
The moment is gone. The moment is over. Thank you very much for having me.
And Samuel Atamensa with Channel 1 Television and City FM. Samens, welcome to the program.
Sir, thank you.
Well, we start with the obvious. Over the weekend, the MPP went to the polls, highly anticipated primaries. Dr. Bawumia won. Many expected him to win, and he won. A few people, including some prophets, said that Kennedy Japan was going to win. That did not happen. It became a three-horse race. Brian Champon, who entered the race quite late, did quite well, clearing the chance for him, as many have said, for the future. But we'll delve into that a bit later. I started with Musa. Musa, you predicted that Bawumia was going to win. Of course, he was going to make 57% plus minus 3, and he ended up making 56.48, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty accurate. Many are asking that. Do you add something to the data? How do I even put it? How do you get some of these things right?
A lot of it is what we call our trade secret.
The trade secret. People think you add something small.
But basically, see, we rely on the monthly or weekly tracking pool. So we find the averages, because when you just use one period, there could be noises in the data that could throw you, of course. But when you average the pools over, say, 5 months, all the noises will be removed. And you have a very, very good average over the survey. Then the question about the undecided, I will not tell you. How do you fish them out? There are several questions that we ask in the survey that are really a question that enable us to go back to the back door and get to know what they are thinking. So even if he tells you that, I won't disclose to you, he's said enough elsewhere to enable you to know that this guy...
Okay, so you can find some answers in some of the questions later.
Absolutely. So even though he said, I won't tell you, which without that kind of data, you won't be able to allocate them properly. We're able to do so because we have several questions that we triangulate and begin to understand what they actually mean and what they intend to do. And also, we understand how some of these issues affect polling numbers. If you are a pollster, experienced one, of course, you should know certain comments, certain events that will shake the polls. And when those events happen, you must know the effect and the consequences of those.
So what would be one of those events in the just ended race?
I mean, when you have a very steady race and somebody suddenly throws something, boom, and it becomes the news. The question is, who made that gaffe? Is it the challenger or the person who is
But did you see any such thing in this one?
I mean, there was one Bakken video really saying Bawumia is a liar.
Okay.
That I think was just too much for many delegates who were undecided. And even those who have decided already for Ken, realize that, look, this is not where we want to go. And sometimes...
So that video was really influential in deciding
It was the very reason why we moved Brian from 6% in the model to 13%.
Wow, that video.
Yes, and he did more than that. Because we realized that with that video, we saw the effect of that video the following morning in the polls. We were doing daily tracking poll for the Monday to Friday for the week. So the reaction of delegates to that video on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was just too much.
So you're saying had it not been for that video, the race could have been closer?
28 for Ken.
I see. You talk about daily...
Not 23.
Okay, you talk about daily tracking.
Yes.
So how do you do it? You call people, you use telephone, you call people every day?
We have delegates' phone numbers in our system, all of them.
When you call them, they will pick and talk to you?
Yes.
So there are delegates you've spoken to more than once?
Sometimes, yes.
And when you call them, they know you are the one calling?
They've saved our number, Global Info. So they know it is us. And also when we call them, we introduce ourselves as Global Info Analytics. So we don't hide behind some unknown face. So they are more confident in talking to us openly. And because they know it is us, we're not working for any camp. Sometimes some call them from a camp, maybe Brian camp, Bawumia's camp, and Ken camp. When we call them, we tell them who we are and that we don't belong to any camp. And whatever they tell us is confidential. So that assurance is there. And because they've been hearing us on the news every day, I mean, that credibility helped us to get them to speak. But those who don't speak, 21%, even that, because they don't want to speak, they don't want to tell you sometimes.
But yes, you find a way of...
We find a way, because we ask so many questions.
Unmasking them.
So many questions that look innocent questions. But they are the arsenal we use to really go into the mind of the people.
So were you, of course, you did a post, etc. Were you surprised by any aspect of this election? Anything in this election that surprised you?
Because, look, we anticipated Brian's rise. So if he's gone beyond what we said he was going to do, that really should not be a surprise. Just that he exceeded our expectation, even though we thought he was going to rise. His performance was quite phenomenal. In polling terms, to do that kind of performance in 2 weeks, it means somebody has collapsed significantly. Wow.
Sometimes, I mean, we were here looking at the numbers and going through the process together. What's your general view on the happenings of the day? Bawumia is 1 year. People think he should have won with a bigger margin, but 56 is quite decent. What's your general thinking around what happened on Saturday?
So last week we were here and I think we had a discussion and my view was very clear that I knew Bawumia was going to win. Just wasn't sure by which margin. If you ask me, the 57% he had is quite an outstanding, in fact it is an outstanding success. And I hear people he had to get 70% and all that. It doesn't happen that way. You know, this is the first time Bawumia has entered the race on his own accord, by his own strength. Clearly, he didn't have any upper hand just pushing him. And for him to come out with this kind of results, I think is a safe triumph, let me put it that way. Again, given the nature of violent opposition that he received from people who were very well connected to the grassroots, and the invectives that were showered on him the slandering and all these things, I think he came out very well. That's my general view, and puts him in a better position to command the soul of the party if he is able to reconnect to the power blocks. That's how I put it. If he's able to reconnect with the power blocks, that's the first step that he has to take.
The other contenders, many mentioned Kennedy Japan. Did his performance surprise you? I mean, in the sense that did you think he was going to do better than he did?
No, I actually thought he was going to do worse than this.
Wow.
I actually thought he was going to do worse than this.
Why? Because he was not on the ground, or because his message was not penetrating?
Frankly, I saw Kennedy's mode of campaigning. I could liken that to a national campaign more than a delegate targeted campaign. That's why I thought that he was firing empty shots, if you like.
Blanks.
Yeah, blanks. So I thought that he was addressing the issue at the national level rather than coming into the delegate community. And that's why I thought that he wasn't going to do well. So for me, his 23 was a surprise.
How about Brian?
Brian went on the ground and he did a lot of work. I mean, Brian wasn't joking. He also spent a lot of money. You understand? Now, I don't know whether he has that much resources left to continue.
Yeah.
In the event that MPP should win 2028. There's no assurance that he's going to be the running mate.
Sure.
Now, clearly, if they should win, the choice of the running mate is definitely not going to be a northerner.
Surely, yes. Because Bawumia himself is a northerner.
And the moment they choose a southerner and a younger person for a running mate,
then that
diminishes Brian's
chances.
So there's nothing given. You understand? He has spent the money.
That's quite interesting.
He has spent the money. So has Kennedy. Maybe to some extent Bawumia as well. But that's where it ends. They have done a resetting. Let me borrow President Mahama. They have done a resetting and initialized the race. So we are all starting afresh. Bawumia ahead. The rest will follow. So whoever gets the traction for election 2028 controls the party.
There's a talk about, of course, you mentioned running mates. People think that given the momentum Brian has, the flag bearer, of course, is his decision, to be endorsed by the party leadership or the National Council, etc. Do you think he should look at Brian or give him a serious look for a running mate position?
I mean, he could look at Brian, but not for the reason that he came third. Not for this random reason that he was third, so he should be running mate. I mean, far from that.
Maybe he has momentum.
Well, but you don't know others who have better momentum who were not on the ballot box. You don't know others who control the better part of the party who were not on the ballot box. For the simple reason that they didn't think that it was their time. But they could do a lot more work in the communities. So it's just an open field. It could be Brian for many and other reasons. But I'm just saying that it cannot be him for the simple reason that he came third. In fact, that's actually one of the reasons that nobody will consider.
Wow.
And let me also quickly say that, I hear people say this thing that I don't even know where it comes from. So they go for primaries and somebody gets 20%, somebody gets 30%. And then after they say that, yeah, he controls 30% of the party. It's not true. You can't scientifically prove this. It is not true. The moment the election is ended, you don't control anything. You do not control. It's like saying that President Mahama controls 57% of the party, and so Bawumia controls 43% of the party, of the country. It's like saying that. How can Bawumia say that I control 43% of the country? It doesn't work like that. If you've lost, go home and sleep. And let the one who won control affairs. Next time when it's your turn, you two control.
Interesting. Thomas, talk to me about Kwabena Japan. Very articulate young man. I mean, no more a young man, but he looks young. He appears to have something he wants to say, values, etc.
Yeah.
But it doesn't appear to be working for him. I mean, 2007.
Kwabena is a likable, lovely human being. But you know, one of the hip life artists did some song. Say, I like you, but I love somebody else. so, you know, they like him, but they love somebody else. That's the thing. They like him, and you can't. I don't know who can even hate Kwabena Japan, but people still don't think that he's the person they look up to when it comes to the presidency. I, in all honesty, was hoping that he would just back Bawumia. But of course, he's an adult, he knows what he wants. Or he could even be, for me, a more favorable candidate for the chairmanship of the party, you know, than this one. Because, you see, let me speak to you. So you see that he didn't do well, but nobody even talks about it. So it means that he's highly respected, which is true, and he's conducted himself well. But hey, he's a consummate MPP politician. So if he wants to try and see what his prospects are, so be it. But at least now that he knows that he almost got zero, I think next time he will turn himself into an advisor so that he will advise you, because he's been up and he's been down. In fact, almost at the bottom.
People think he didn't do so well because he didn't have money. At some point, his campaign manager, Ofosu, I mean, the gentleman who was at NLC, former MP.
Former KDMP,
yes. I mean, left him for Bawumia, you know, in the middle of the race. People think because he did not have a lot of resources, he could not oil the wheels of his campaign very well.
I think money is part of it. Because those who had proper money, it showed. But Kwabena Japan doesn't apologize to anybody for not having money. Because not at any point did he brag to people that he has money. He just said he has better ideas. This is how it's supposed to be. I mean, I pity those who could mount stage, the political stage, to say that they have more money than others. I mean, that's a very infantile approach to politics. You understand? But the money will finish one day. Then what you say what? So I think Kwabena has done what he has to do, and he was the first to declare that he was ready to support Dr. Bawumia and all that. So I think that the rest is left for us to witness.
I see. Let me go to a different strand of this. I mean, there were predictions by data people like Musa and co, and there were predictions from the spirit. You know, about 10 people we saw predict.
From the spirit?
I mean, you know, if you like, I mean, prophecies, or so-called prophecies. About 10 of them predicted. But one that has become the talk of town, I mean, Bernard, it didn't work. He's since apologized. He stepped down from the pulpit. He said he will go for counseling. He will do a few other things. I mean, why should pastors or prophets be so interested in predicting or prophesying who wins the election? I mean, you have been in the space for a while. How should Christendom view things like this? And even if God is spoken to you, how should it be done? Should it be announced, or should you call the person and tell the person? How do we work around that so that if it doesn't work out like we've seen in the case of El Bernard, we do not have the backlash that we've seen? And by extension, it even affects the religion. It affects, I mean, the people. It affects the religion generally. How can these be handled?
Wow. Okay, in the first place, let me say that I'm a Christian, and I'm a charismatic Christian, so I'm familiar with this space. So, is God still talking to people? Yes, I think God is still talking to people. Is word of knowledge still in operation? Yes, it is still in operation. Only that I don't believe any of the people who came out to say they are doing the prophetic, I don't believe even one. Not one. You say how many? 10 of them.
Yeah,
I don't believe one, including the one who said Bawumia. I don't believe that. It's not anything from God.
But
There's no God telling them anything. I'm telling you.
Oh, they say God will not do a thing until he reveals it to his prophets. He reveals it to his people.
You see, they are just mocking at God. You understand? I mean, it is true. God can speak to you.
Yeah.
Now, God can speak to you for a particular time, for a particular purpose, to a particular person, or to a specific group of people. Okay? Now, I don't understand how God speaks to you, and then you take the God that has spoken to you's word, and you embark on a road show to debate with God's word, to prove to people and bet that God, that's not how God operates. So, me from day one, I knew that they were jokers. On the issue of this particular prophecy, it was just if God has spoken to you, God knows how to get you to communicate to the people involved. It's possible that God will speak to somebody because we believe. Now, if God speaks to you, you communicate to the person that God has sent you to, unless you want to prove a point. So, a lot of them thought that because of social media, it gave them a platform for brand extension and brand dominance, so that they will be the man about town, as we call power yo-yo, makasa na bem. I know my job and so no. So whether they said prophecy, no prophecy, I do not think that that's word of knowledge. There's not a single scripture that this what they did can be aligned with. That you speak and you move from station to station to debate people and challenge people, and in some cases call people and warn them
that they are challenging what
that
God
they are
has said.
challenging what God has said. Call people, DM people in their social media, call them, warn them, and all these things. That is not the nature of word of knowledge. As for prophecy, look, I don't want to go into all these details, but what I'm saying is that it's not how God operates. Case closed.
I see. Musa, you are a data person, so your side worked. Bawumia, what should be next for him? I mean, he came into mainstream politics in 2008. That's where we saw him first time. You know, dressed or maybe portrayed as the economic messiah, the guy to do all of that. But the 2024 elections and maybe years before did not make him look good in terms of the economy. And here we are, the NDC is in power. Of course, people say external factors are favorable, and they appear to be doing well economically. What should Bawumia be doing? You know, how should he come back? Because we know his strength to be the economy, but he could not deliver on that really, even though he was running mate of vice president. But he was the guy tasked with the economy, at least from the utterances of the president. That didn't appear to have gone well. How does he come back? What should he be doing next?
You know, on the key issue that mattered to voters, which was the economy, I think they were heavily defeated on that in the elections. And what we are experiencing now sharply contrasts with what we experienced in 2024. So for him, I think he needs to build trust and credibility among the voters. That must be his biggest task. Not only to build unity, which is a must, but once he's doing the unity, he must build trust among voters to trust him again on the economy.
How does he do that?
That is, I'm not an advisor. I don't know how he does it. I'm sure there are people he can hire to find a way of doing that. But the problem is that he has to be trusted on the economy for him to make a wave in 2028.
But can he get a new area and build trust there? Because the economy, I don't know if the economy will be this way till the end.
Absolutely. I mean, You see, when it comes to elections, you must first find out from people what are the key concerns. If the concerns remain economy, then he's in big trouble. Unless the economy tanks, then he say, we told you so. If economy seems okay, generally, more than half of the issues that win elections are economic based. Then maybe look at elsewhere. What is it that we are facing as a challenge? Is it unemployment? Then he could seize on that and provide alternative to what this government is doing, and let the people believe that his solution will work.
But unemployment, yes, also economic. So if the economy is good.
My point is that he must identify
an area,
an area that people are concerned about and tap into that.
Sometimes, I mean, 3 years from now is a long time. How does he come back? And Musa talked about trust and credibility. How does he come back to win the trust and credibility of Ghanaians, especially on the economy?
I tend to agree with Musa, okay? But let me go back to the earlier point I made, that this will be the first time that Bawumia will be coming in on his own accord, on the strength of his own personality, okay? Bawumia was, if you like, compelled to take on the digital pathway because there was a Kenuforiata who had occupied the space and would not allow Bawumia to do anything. Now, it's a clean slate, and he needs to, it's not an option. He needs to speak to economic issues. And this time, not at the macro level, at the micro level, where it rubs with people's pockets. You understand? But in Ghana, not many people win elections because they could figure out the way forward or the prospects of winning. Not many people do that. People win elections because of the undoing of the parties in power. More often than not, and repeatedly we can talk about all the parties. You undo 2008, 2016. It's always like that. So, yes, Bawumia could package himself, could figure himself out well, but a lot depends on how the NDC themselves will conduct themselves. And there are a few minefields as we approach 2028, with the NDC's internal squabbles, struggle for leadership, who comes after President Mahama, which ethnic groups turn it is to do what, who is likely to be the running mate. And these, when you sit outside, it may look, all well packaged, but there are deep craters in there. And at times, some of these things can open the way for your opponent to pass through. So it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
I will take a short break. This is what the papers are saying. But let me ask Musa. Now, when we come back, we shift or we change topic. Sometimes makes a point about the NDC. Yes, we say the ruling parties lose elections. And the interesting thing about this election is that John Mahama will not run again, which means a new face will be on the ballot against Bawumia, who has been on the ballot before. And so I know you've been pulling Haruna, Atuforsin, Sudinket, and all of those. I think recently you did some work on Bawumia versus any of them. What did your work tell you?
No, it tells me that the strongest candidate as at now for the NDC against Bawumia is Atuforsin.
Atuforsin?
Yes. The data shows that when he is paired against Bawumia, he gets close to 58%. And Bawumia gets 34%.
Is it because of the economy?
No, they are showing their intention based on current situation. Obviously, they feel that he's done a lot in the way they feel, and that if he's the one that is facing Bawumia, this is how they will vote, if that is the case. And then if you bring in Haruna Idrisu, you see Haruna Idrisu doing about 56% of the vote.
Haruna, what would be his strength?
He's very strong in the north, very commanding in the north, and also does well in the south as well.
So he may shut Bawumia out of the north?
Not completely. Bawumia is also very strong there, but it will be battle of two sons of the north, and then you have a vote split. What is not working for him?
So even in this election, Bahama versus Bawumia, it was two sons of northern Ghana, really.
But the economy made it very nonsense for MPP in the north. If you look at the gap, the northern region, Bahama got around 60-something%, which is quite high. Now, but you see the differences in the data for maybe Atufosin and Haruna comes from a combination of ethnicity and religion.
So
they are all both NDC candidates.
Yes.
One is doing 56. One is doing 58.
Yeah.
The difference is that when it's Atufosin against Bawumia, a lot more of the MPP guys vote for Atufosin.
Why? Because of religion?
It's a combination, and Akan as well. You know, the MPP base in Akan, and Atufosin will come as an Akan candidate, and those who are not happy, and probably the guys with the connected people who have said they will go there. And if you look at the differences, in fact, if you look at that demographic very carefully, on party affiliation, you could see that Atufosin get a lot more of the MPP guys compared to Haruna, Asedin Ketia, and the rest. And when the same demographic, if you switch it to religion, you see a lot more Christians voting for Atufosin. Yes. And remember, ethnicity, the Akans and Christianity go hand in hand. About 90% of the Akans are Christians. So when you move the Akans, you move automatically also the Christians alongside.
I wanted to ask about what's her name, the vice president, but because she's been very active these days, she's not really featured in your posts.
No, she's featuring.
I mean, in terms of the numbers, doing well in the numbers.
Yes.
But she's been active these days, and Haruna, who is doing well in your polls, continues to say that she may be president. I mean, what's going on there?
Look, if you take the vice president, this country is looking for young leaders. We cannot deny that. And they have a threshold for who they think is old, according to surveys. And she will be around 76 in 2028. That is an age that is really, really difficult for her. For one to even mount a serious national campaign is physically demanding.
People will do the work for her. If the economy is good,
But we let's. I mean,
how about Sedun Ketia? So how does she fare versus Bawumia?
No, she hasn't been paired yet because at the time we were doing the pairing, she wasn't doing 10%.
How about Sedun Ketia?
Sedun Ketia is doing 53% against Bawumia. Which is not a zone that you want to play. If you have somebody giving you 56, someone 58, you have a choice. You want to have what do you call it? A night-long election where you are comfortable, or you want to sit on a counter. I think the age is still playing here. 78% of the Ghanaian voters are below 44 years of age, and they've said to us that if you are 65, you are in trouble.
I see. Let me take this comment from Napoleon in Tumu, Sankofa Bay. He said, I want to know whether Musa Danquest's predictions are only on elections or it's on the economy. Well, that's a question from Napoleon. We'll take a short break. You can join us with your comments as well on 020-444-7033. Take a short break. We'll come back and look at other stories we have. Don't go away.
Bestie, meet my lovely family.
I mean, we can do that whilst I'm seated and eating. Let me pray on the food before we eat.
He will be here for days, and I only find out at a family dinner on the day that he arrives.
Morning, family.
Everything in the kitchen is actually gone.
You know, in the UK, I work like a donkey, but here, I eat like a monkey.
My noodles just vanished like a spirit had brunch.
He finished my slightly burnt oil rice.
Half a crate of eggs cannot just poof, disappear.
Good morning,
Lesa, have you by any chance gone to the kitchen.
Madam, unless the kitchen walk to me my sleep, me I didn't enter the kitchen.
If I die, won't you serve food at my funeral?
Daddy! Heaven save us! Now what's that?
Bestie.
Away, Dad. I'm sure he's gone.
Good morning. I thought you were gone.
The Blanksing family is here. The vibe is too much.
Yeah, welcome back. This is what the papers are saying. I am Selom Adunu, my guest, Samuel Atamensa, and Musa Dankwa. Yeah, we just discussed the MPP primaries, Bawumia, what's next for him, matched him against some key names in the NDC to see how 2028 may pan out. Now let's do this other interesting one, Kotoka International Airport. Kotoka International Airport is to be renamed Accra International Airport. What's in the name? Well, we've known Kotoka International Airport throughout our lives. Why should we change it now? Why is it important to change it now? We've always known that he was the coup maker, the coup leader who took out Nkrumah or led the gang or the team that took out Kwame Nkrumah. But we've lived with this for decades. Why must we change it now? What will it put food on our table? What will it do to us? I started with Samens. Samens, I mean, it's been Kotoka since I was born. I mean, does it matter? Why shouldn't it remain so? Is it necessary to have a change of the name now?
That's a beautiful question. The answer is a straight no. It's not necessary. It's not necessary at all to have a name change to an international. It is not a local airport. It's an international airport, and the ramifications are wide and varied. I'm wondering whether the people who propose this have really thought through to see what it means to change the name of an international airport. But if you ask me whether, then just the nomenclature, changing the name is a problem. It's not a problem. If they want to change from Kotoka to whoever, whatever, it's okay. But if they have to change, they should just change it. It's the reasons they were given that I found very strange.
The coup maker.
Which coup makers what? What's coup maker?
So it betrays our resolve against...
To do what? Rollins did 2 coups back to back. But we have honored him.
And he was president.
He was president.
8 years.
And he superintended over the country for 18 to 20 years.
Yes.
Became
a Democrat.
It's just this coup maker thing. It's not an issue. You understand? Next door, Nigeria. What's the name of their international airport?
Is it the Murtala
Mohammed International Airport. Who is Murtala Mohammed? In 1975, he actually removed General Ironsi and killed him. And then they named the airport after him. When Shegu Shagari came in 1976, what did he do? He continued. In fact, expanded the airport in Ikeja. And the airport has been up to today. I'm not saying that because of that, it means that coup should be accepted. I'm only saying that we should leave it. It's not the most important thing to do today. We are thinking about agri, we are thinking about health, we are thinking about trade, we are thinking about all the important elements.
I think the other argument is, so in the case of the Murtala, he became president or head of state.
Yeah.
So the quick reference to him is not a coup maker, but as president or head of state.
But Kotoka,
we didn't hear of him again after the coup. So, for example, somebody comes to the airport, who is Kotoka? Then you say what? Kotoka was a soldier.
No, what I'm saying is that it's long past the essence of name change. That's all I'm saying. Okay. See, I did a quick reference to what it would take. And I'll show you quickly. There are cost and operational disruptions, signages, digital assets, all the things that you can think about, stakeholder alignment, which is what we are doing. But the more important one is the regulatory and aviation specific challenges.
Yeah.
ICAO, coding, traffic control and safety, everything has to change. IATA, the 3-letter codes, ticketing, baggaging, everything. It's been so programmed everywhere.
In the world, yeah.
Good. We can go back and look at aeronautical information publications, something that we call National AIP. We talk about the NOTAMs. We talk about the global aviation databases. We have to change all these things before we come to all the bilateral agreements that we have. I mean, why do we want to take ourselves through all these air service agreements between countries, airline operating permits, slot allocation documents, formal notification to partner states, amendments? Oh, Charlie, wait, we go, now we can come to immigration. Now we need to deal with every country's immigration, customs, and security systems. Papa, it's not an easy thing. Because now you know the immigration, they are all interconnected through a global database. Same with customs, same with the security and intelligence systems. You can go now, insurance and liability contracts. We can go, Charlie, plenty things. So I'm just saying that if I go through all the things that we have to go through just for the mere name change, I don't think it's worth the hustle. And it's not as simple as going to a certain university and say that, hey, we don't like the name, so let's change the name. And then, then we change the name. As for the airport, you can't do it like that, too. And I hope that they have measured it, they know what it takes and how much it's going to cost. And also, for whatever it's worth, we need to give ourselves about 3 to 4 years parallel period or transition period where both names are going to be used.
Because people may think there are two different airports.
That's the point.
People may think there's Accra International Airport and Kotoka
It's
International
too much work for too little. So, given this breakdown, I don't think it's worth the hustle. You don't like the Kotoka being attached to the airport. Me too, I don't like it. But there are certain things that they are better left untouched. This is my position.
I see. That's interesting. Musa, what do you think? In fact, let me. Somebody says that. No, I wanted to say a poster, but somebody by name Samuel says, "Can Musa Dankwa poll Ghanaians on these issues? How many prefer change of KIA to AIA?" I mean,
I think that is something. Maybe.
Is something you want to do?
No, not that I want to do.
Or for
but
public
it's
interest.
Public interest.
Of course.
You can do that, and sometimes if there's no public support, you just abandon it. Look, in fact, I haven't thought about the way you have said the issues that we have to go through. I happened to work for civil aviation when I was growing up, and I know what it takes. The documentation there, quite heavy. Maybe what we should be asking them is, what is the cost and benefit of the name change? Some have cited renaming of Akwaji from Sankara, because Sankara was a coup maker. That doesn't go anywhere. Just name change as Sankara. And some have made mention of cancellation of 31st December holidays and stuff like that. And okay, but airport is quite a different story. And I think the signage and everything comes with cost. I don't know whether they want to do it on the surface without changing the documentation, which probably you can't. So you have to do it because of regulatory environment. I mean, yeah, we don't want to promote coup makers, but at a point we realize that just changing it could be quite expensive. Maybe we should ask them to give us the cost and benefit, and that way we can make an informed decision. But it will also be very interesting to see the views of Ghanaians if they think it's worth changing the name from
so it will be nice to hear from you on that. But is it not the case that maybe leaders after Nkrumah haven't done so well? So because our situation is maybe worsened, we now look back and remember Nkrumah fondly. And so we are looking for a scapegoat. So, okay, if it hadn't been you, Kotoka, we wouldn't have been in this bad situation today. So, you caused our downfall. So why should you put somebody like you on our airport?
But maybe if the name is there, we remember what they did to us. So it's a question.
Yeah, so we don't want to be remembering the pain.
No, so that you don't repeat it again. I mean, look, my stand on this one is quite flexible. If the cost is that much, which I don't know, is it justified? Is that money worth spending on something else? We have many issues we are confronting with this country, as a country. How much will it cost to change the name? Could that money be put to good use? Is it just for symbolism, or what is it? I mean, look, we should begin to be substance than just the
form.
the
All
form.
right, a few other messages. Okay, so Samuel's message was in 2 parts. And also, if he could, poll Ghanaians will vote yes in the event of referendum to remove term limits from the presidency. I'm sure he wants the views of Ghanaians on term limits. Limit. Yeah, so maybe that's some job for you. But you have to pay him to do it. This one
No,
service.
Sometimes when things are of public interest, we take it upon ourselves. That's what we do anyway.
Okay. From Chief Comrade Obed Dennis Kacheku, so formerly at Unibank Ghana Limited. Hypocrisy, MPP again with their routine making, telling Ghanaians that changing the name of Kotoka will cost taxpayers money. During the administration, state monuments names were changing from right, left to center, and it was not wrong. Good people of Ghana, surely Dr. Bawumia again will beat Bawumia again in 2028. This one, Ghana is actually interesting. A few years ago, universities and airports were renamed after certain people, and that was no news today. Some people are shouting just because a government wants to rename an airport. Kwekun Lapa says the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government is the worst in Ghana's history. There is no chance for Bawumia to become the president of Ghana. Does he think Ghanaians have not suffered enough? Moses Ngbawe says the excuse of Dr. Bawumia being sidelined is lame because it shows he is a bad team player. If with his expertise, the then president and the minister for finance will not listen to his arguments on the economy, the point is that he lacked the skills of persuasion as head of the economic management team. We saw him inaugurate a 40-member committee to work on the city. Was he forced to put the team together? Well, these are your views. We want to hear more views from you, but we'll take a short break, come back, and look at the very final. Maybe let's not take a break. Inflation is dropped to 3.8%. I mean, the lowest in a generation. I mean, sometimes 3.8%. When I saw the 5.3 the month before, I said, hey. And today we are seeing 3.8. I mean, where are we going with this? And the issue is that, or the concern is that, this is not reflecting. When you go to the market, the rate of inflation, as we see on paper, it's not really reflecting in the market because prices of things keep going higher or faster.
Really?
Than this.
With
a few people, not documents. A few people have said so. So, for example, they say green plantain. Is more expensive,
but it's seasonal.
It's seasonal, yes. So that's the other point. So your point is that the 3.8%, is reflective of what happens on the market or in the market.
No, you see, inflation is a ratio. It's a ratio. It's not an absolute figure sitting somewhere. So if you draw a curve, okay. One would be steep. So you have the y-axis, x-axis. A steep curve shows a higher rate of rise. A gentle slope shows a lower rate. Now, a gentle slope is not the same as a reversed direction.
Yes.
It only means that
it's increasing,
it is increasing at a lower rate. So when people say things like, oh, you go to the market and things are expensive, the rate doesn't say the prices of things have come down. That's not what the rate is saying. Secondly, the issue of inflation rate determination spells out an average figure, which is the sum total of the baskets that have been compiled and worked on or analyzed to give out the inflation rate. So it is real for somebody to go and find that something that cost 10 cedis last month is now 15 cedis. The only thing that we don't know is that the person is not telling us that there was something else that cost 10 cedis that today is still 10 cedis.
Yeah. So it's an average, really.
So the average will capture everything put in a basket and then give us the inflation rate. So I don't see the whole battle that is a lie, it's a fabrication. The only thing, for instance, if I were an MPP person, was to create my own food basket. As for creating the food basket, anybody at all can create a food basket. And also calculate what I believe is the inflation rate. You know, inflation, the figures, the source, information doesn't come from government, though. It comes from the public.
Market, yeah. But it depends on what's in the basket.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And I thought about what we put in the basket is known.
No. But you see, what you put in a basket is known. But mind you, it has to be collected within a certain time frame, repeatedly over a certain period, with the same unit of measures over a time. So it is there for everybody. So what I'm saying is that if I were there, I will also calculate my own and use what I have to debate. But to say that is not, I don't believe it. No, this is not faith. This is we are not working in faith. It's a reality. So I think the MPP, what they should do is to also go to the market and calculate it proper, and they can do it. They have statisticians, they have mathematicians, and in a matter of 1 week, they should. So if I were them, because the inflation rate is always published by the Statistical Service, I think at the end of
the first week of the
I will also do that last week.
So that you put yours out before?
I'll put mine out before. But you see, I'm just saying that they should do the work. You understand? Do the work. Don't sit at home and just poo-poo the thing because it serves a political reasoning. Go and get the figures so that when we challenge you, you can prove to us that I went to Malata Market, I went to Kukwentumi, I did this, I went to Melcom, so and so and so, so that you take us through. That way, you are actually empowering your own base of supporters to also be equipped to debate. But this thing of, I don't believe it's not there.
Anyway, Musa, just a quick one on that.
Yes, look, inflation, just like polls, is based on methodology, right? They have method of calculating the inflation. They have the inflation basket, right? And they use people to go and collect data and analyze it. So are they saying that they have forged the figures, or what have they done to the figures? Or they've conjured figures as they've been saying that we have been doing in our bedrooms? Is that what the GSS has done? I think it is really throwing a bit of shade on GSS. It makes us to believe that maybe when they are there, they do the same thing. It really shocking that such as inflation data, which informs so many decisions that as a country we take, we tend to poo-poo it. I mean, it's not the best way to go.
Very well. We've run out of time, but a quick one. I saw something you did on Ayawasu East, Baba Jama versus Haji Amina.
Yes.
So Haji Amina is leading by 58%.
We spoke to voters of Ayawasu, as we've been doing in every election. Sometimes we do delegate as well. We do general voters to seek the correlation between the two. We've done the MPP, the NDC primaries there, and overwhelmingly, the voters in Ayawasu prefer Haji Halima. Hajia.
So Baba Jama doesn't get it again?
It's
early days yet?
No, it's not early days. I think he's not going to get it.
Oh, I see.
What if the president appoints a new high commissioner to Nigeria?
But he has not resigned.
No, but it's in some way. It's some way.
No, but he hasn't resigned.
We here, we have followed Baba Jama to Akwetia before.
Yes.
He didn't make it. Nima too is not going to make it. Are they?
The Nigerian people are there. Well, this is how we conclude today's edition of the program. My name is Salam Adon. I've had Samens and Musa Danko as my guest. Have a good evening.